Hello, and welcome to the Diaries, where my pals and I get together and talk about subjects dealing with our favorite tabletop role-playing setting, the World of Darkness. While we may not be subject matter experts on the game lines, we have a passion that has led us to create and share actual plays with you all. Eventually we thought, well shit, we might as well take a stab at a podcast, and here you go. Each episode we will have a guest content creator to join us to talk about whatever subject is on the table. If you'd like to contact us, you can reach out to us on Twitter at twin_cities_VTM or on Facebook at Twin Cities by Night. So here we go. I hope you enjoy. Hello everyone and welcome to the Diaries. I'm back. These motherfuckers have me for dead. It is so insane. Listen, for all you who think this podcasting actual play shit is just a game, this is more than just a game. This is a lifestyle. This has been like a spiritual journey of mine. I've been like diving into the depths of my mind and of my soul and of writers and black magic artists just to find to truly dig into my utmost potential so I can help out Twin Cities by Night, giving you all who are listening the best that we can do. But sometimes that drives me into doing some pretty dark things to get there. And as you all well know, Cold Brew is the ether of our group. It is a substance in which we mold our existence from. And I found ways to get it into my system quicker than drinking. I don't want to go too many details. Some of them are kind of nasty. But one of the things that I thought I would do to elevate my game when it came to cold brew consumption and thus expanding my mind to become the best actual play podcaster that I can be was I decided to inject it into my eyes. I thought, well, I'll put it into the white of my eyeballs. I will go ahead and make them pitch black and I'll see the dark secrets in the universe. Instead, I almost died. And it led to this big, almost Avengers Assemble moment with all the gang members of Twin Cities by Night. Andrew came from Texas on a horse and threw me on the back of the horse and said he's getting me out of the negative environment that Phoenix, Arizona is. And a black mass was assembled. The gang was able to bring me back to life with the cold brew enema. It was kind of messy at the end there, but I have never felt as light as I feel now and ready to go. Welcome back, everyone. We are here to the Diaries, and I'm so stoked to be back. And today, I'm not joined by Andrew. He's exhausted. He's probably hungover from celebrating his birthday. Happy birthday, Andrew. Love you, bro. But today, again, I am joined by Mitch, the man of many voices. You see him on plenty of our stuff. Now he's running his own game, Demon the Fallen Fragments. What's up, Mitch? How you doing, bro?
I'm not doing too bad. It's been a very busy day today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has been. We were supposed to record holy shit, 37 minutes ago, but something came up with Mitch, and it's fine. Usually, if you guys don't know, Mitch has a bad hookers and cocaine problem. So usually it's like cleaning up a mess or two, and it's fine. I mean, who am I to judge? I shot cold brew up in my eyes and ended up getting it up my butt, which is not cool. So we had to do what we had to do, man.
It's a lifestyle choice.
It's a lifestyle. Well, people don't realize the sacrifice that we do. Because, we're pretty much artists, right? And every artist has to have some kind of substance control problem to tap into their utmost potential. I'm sounding pretentious.
Music was better when everyone was on heroin. Come on.
I know, right? So if more actual play podcasters started doing cocaine and shooting cold brews into their eyeballs with syringes, we'd be fucking cool. And just for the record, in case anyone's sitting there listening to this being like, I should fucking do this and start a podcast. Don't do this. Don't do what the fuck I'm saying. Because you're just not built for it like I am. And it's
really, we're just being sarcastic.
Yeah,
I think.
I don't know.
Slowly put
down the syringe of cocaine mixed with cold brew. Ooh, Jesus Christ. Can you imagine how much shit we'd be releasing then? Well, it's good to be back for real. Today, what we're going to be talking about is perhaps my all-time favorite clan. And I don't like saying it like this because I don't have this is my favorite clan, like it's a class in Dungeons and Dragons or anything. But my favorite clan in Vampire the Masquerade, for reasons I will share, by far is the Giovanni. And we're going to be talking about the Giovanni today. We're going to be talking about different things about the Giovanni that we like. We're going to be just kind of diving into that. But until then, We're going to go ahead and take our first break here. We're going to do a couple lines of Coke, slam some fucking cold brew, kick some strippers out of our room, and continue to record this awesome podcast. Are you ready, Mitch? Go ahead and clean up your mess. Then.
What?
What? All right.
What's going on?
Just stay until after the break. Talk to you later.
Oh, hello again, folks. I'd like to tell you about the Facebook group we run called White Wolf and Onyx Path RPGs, Gameplay and Media. Have you ever wished you could have an easy way to find gameplay videos and podcasts, or just media in general that deals with your favorite White Wolf role-playing games? Or have you ever wished you could find a forum to share gameplay that you have recorded? One that won't be drowned out by random posts and discussions, so that your media could get the attention you deserve. The group is specifically run with the sole intent of it being a one-stop shop for people to view or share media involving the games we all love. We take thorough steps to ensure the page does not become cluttered and is easy to traverse. The group is already immense and continuing to rapidly grow, with new media being shared every day. Stop on by. We hope to see you there.
All right, we are back. Welcome back, everyone. So, I mentioned earlier that perhaps by far my favorite clan in Vampire the Masquerade is the Giovanni Clan. And the reason that I myself prefer the Giovanni Clan, and I don't even want to say prefer, like, okay, I've never played a Giovanni. I've barely played Vampire Dark Secret. I've ran Vampire more than I've played it, but I prefer like the concept of the Giovanni Clan. And I swear to God, if I hear one motherfucker say, "Oh, you mean that Mafia clan?" I'm gonna fucking lose my shit. But in all seriousness, though, I like the Giovanni clan because I feel that at least up until the revised V20 era, the Giovanni were almost like a sect of their own. You know what I mean, Mitch? Like they were almost like this body that could survive away from either the Camarilla or the Sabbat, but yet exist in both if they chose to, you know, but they were like their own sect in a way.
Well, they had to be after the promise of 15, whatever it was.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, and I guess we'll kind of tie into, and I'm going to simplify this, and people please don't like, you know, all you purists out there, like Andrew's probably going to listen to this and be like, "Oh my God, he got it wrong." But for the history, for those of you who don't know what the Giovanni clan in a nutshell are, and I'm simplifying this, is they were a clan, they were a family of Venetian bankers who dabbled in black magic. And I think they had their ties all the way back to like Roman times. And they were a family that was originally embraced into a clan that was called the Cappadocian clan. You could actually play the Cappadocians in the Dark Ages game line, and the Cappadocian were like the Cappadocians were a clan of death, and it was rumored that they were brought over because they had the ability of necromancy, and that the founder of the Cappadocians wanted to bring them over. Now, I'm not going to get too, like I said, in depth into the history. There's a line of books called the Giovanni Chronicles that came out for Vampire the Masquerade that kind of tell this story. But what ended up happening is the patriarch of the Giovanni family, like, pretty much like came up with this plan to betray the Cappadocians, to diablerize all their elders, and to take their power and become a powerful clan. I mean, do you have anything to add to that? But that's pretty much it in a nutshell. They betrayed the clan that brought them over.
Yeah, well, it depends on which, version of the story you're paying attention to. In the Second Ed clan book, they talk about how they did it for the good of everyone else. Of course, that's probably, a little bit of bias there.
Yeah.
But they were convinced that Cappadocius was insane, and that, so we offed him because, it's better for everyone that way.
Yeah, he was trying to become God, right? And we don't want a vampire trying to become God and cheat death. And it was it's like many things in Vampire Masquerade canon. Do you depend on the narrator? Is the narrator unreliable? How do you choose to run with it? There's no clear-cut answer. There's people online who like one side or the other. But in reality, I feel what really pulled me into the concept of the Giovanni that made me enjoy it a lot was the fact that they were a secluded clan that basically at one point was just one family, the Giovanni, where they embraced from within the family, but then eventually they brought in more different mortal families, so that pretty much were thinning out their own ranks. They were like wanted to avoid, I assume, like inbreeding, which was occurring, but they also absorbed other mortal families and brought them into the ranks because of the abilities that are the influence that they had. Like you had the Duncerns, the Putanescas, the Milners, the Pisonobs. I think there's a couple more that I'm probably not naming. But I found, like, with those different families, what I was able to see, like what I saw when I read about those other families, was basically Giovanni had their fingers into everything. You had like the Milners, which were a political family, and in America you had the Duncerns, which were a Scottish banking family. You had the Pisonobs, which were a South American family, and there's a couple not the Pisonobs, excuse me. Yeah, the Pisonobs, and then the Putanescas. I forgot what the Putanescas were, out of Italy originally. I can't remember, but you know what I mean?
Like, they're just muscle.
They're just muscle, pretty much. They had a couple more. They had one family that was a banker family or something like that. That was in the East, but you saw that they had all this influence around there. Now, like, do you have any aspects of the clans that you yourself enjoyed, or that kind of like drew you into it or made you a fan of them?
Oh God, yes. Giovanni have always been one of my favorite clans to play. They're right up there with the Ravnos for me. I absolutely love the fact that they are kind of a sect unto themselves, and all of the different families are always competing and politicking with one another. And personally, I have generally played Milliners when it comes to the Giovanni. I had one Milliner character that had the sanguine incongruity merit.
What's that? Please do tell what that is.
Oh, that's the merit that makes them kind of like Cappadocian.
Oh, where they look all pale and deadly like that?
Yep, they look pale. They don't have the Giovanni bite of doom, and it's a little bit easier for them to feed. I played a creepy one of those. He was a necromancy specialist that I was very, very fond of. But, even straight mainline Giovanni, they're great. There's just so many options, so many different ways you can go. You can do the Politico, you can do the creepy thought, occultist, you can do the muscle.
I find, I guess if I was to say, if someone was like, hey, Chris, why do you like the Giovanni so much? And I'll tell you this, I like the Giovanni because I find him scary as fuck. And I think any vampire clan is in its roots scary. I really do. I think every clan, from like the Brujah, people are like, oh, the Brujah, they fight for right. No, the Brujah are ill-tempered motherfuckers who could rip your head off out of passion and anger if you just look at them the wrong way. That's scary as fuck, The Toreador, they're people who want to pretend they're humans and control human lives, and then will fucking throw them away once they're done with them. That's scary as fuck. Every vampire clan in its root is scary, at least in my opinion. And there's no good guys in vampire. You can have good intentions. You could want to try to do good things, but the beast is a son of a bitch, and the beast will fucking be there all the time waiting for you to fuck up. But I do find, though, that the Giovanni, in a way, are different, scarier. They're not like the Shimize, where they can flesh craft body horror type of shit. They're like not like the Brujah, where they're in your face and they could just like fucking like lose it on you. But the Giovanni have like this multi-layered level, like layered cake of horror that I like. Now, of course, you got necromancy, and for those of you, a lot of people are like, haha, think about necromancy, and they think like, Dungeons and Dragons, and he raised a zombie. Go read some of those necromantic rituals that are in some of the revised books. Those things are fucking horrific, dude. Like horrific. They're like the depravity that a Giovanni clan member has to do in some of those rituals is horrific and scary. I find it to be that way. I don't know about anyone else listening, but like the thought of just what they have to do that, and then like the different families they have and the different types of horrors, like the fucking Duncerns are cannibalistic bankers. They're cannibals. Like that's another thing that scares me. Fucking some distant Scottish rich asshole who eats people. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, they've got a level 4 ritual that requires the kindred to flay someone.
Yeah, it's not clean, and it's not wholesome, and it's just this. It's so, that's why whenever I hear someone go, oh, I got this mafia guy, I want to be a Giovanni, I'm like, dude, you're robbing yourself of like this horrific experience. Now, I myself, I don't know if I'll ever have the opportunity to play Giovanni, but by far, and for anyone who listens to Twin Cities by Night and listen to any of the Twin Cities by Night Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle that I run, will see how much I have thrown subtle Giovanni influence in there, dude. Because I find them to be scary. I mean, look at one of the main protagonists in Twin Cities by Night is someone that's barely seen and has Roman Dunsern, a guy who only has been hinted at a little bit. You've seen peek behind the curtain of what kind of monster he is, and he's just a ghoul. He's just serving a Giovanni that's in the city. There was a really powerful scene that we had where Andrew's character Lenny went to go to the house of Roman Dunsern and saw the wraith, the ghost of all these young boys that Roman Dunsern killed, who are tied to that house to almost like protect it, to ensure that nothing happens to it. That's sad and scary to me. Just the thought that not only can you murder someone and put them through torture, but you're going to do that to enslave them for the rest of eternity.
Death is no escape.
It's not with these guys at all, so it's like you think about like there's two very like horrific scenes in books that I read dealing with the Giovanni. One is the pretty brutal introduction for the second, or the first edition Clan novel, the one that came out for second edition Vampire, the one with the snuff film.
Yes, I just read that actually a day ago.
Oh my God, I haven't read that in years, and it stuck with me, right? What does that say, right? Like that is one that I'm like, whew, that was tough, to read that. And then the one in the revised edition one was a little bit more not so uncomfortable, but you could see the machinations within this family where they had this gathering, and like there's these mortal people who kind of some might know what the kindred members of their family are, some might not. Some are basically what's happening is they're having this gathering, and these Giovanni vampires are figuring out who they're going to bring in next. And there's this, and the way they handle it too, right? I love it. It's like, it's almost like its own mini ivory tower in a way, because it's like, oh, you want to embrace your great granddaughter? Well, to ensure peace in the clan, I am not going to have you embrace your great granddaughter. I'm going to have your enemy embrace her. So now that you guys got to figure out a way to work, so you're not going to be at each other's throat, So like, there's all this like little power play that's within this very powerful, influential clan, And like, I don't know, Mitch, if you can add any insight to this, but like what always amazes me is how they find a way up until V5, which I know has changed dramatically. They found a way to survive both in Camarilla and Sabbat cities and not be flushed out by either of the two sects.
Well, it's very easy to stay one step ahead of folks when you have invisible minions that can possess people and eavesdrop even during the daylight hours. You sick a wraith on someone, chances are no other clan is going to be able to protect themselves, not even the Tremere. They don't really specialize in necromancy. They have a necromancy group within the clan Tremere. I think it's the House of High Saturday. But for the most part, you attach a wraith to a Ventru and they're SOL. You attach a wraith to a Zemitzi, same thing. You just have a spy watching them all the time.
Yeah, the thing too, it's just the whole okay, like I don't want to digress into another game too much, but the whole concept of wraith, I find wraith, like, it's to me, like, I read Wraith 20 and I know some people have like issues with how it was put together, and I have no other history with Wraith, but the concept of Wraith really pulls me, like the sadness of Wraith, you know what I mean? Like the depressive nature of Wraith really pulls me to it. And I think the reason why I enjoy the Giovanni so much is because I think that's an element also that clan brings to this game. Of course, Vampire's a very depressing game, and I like it for that reason. But I like, for example, you mentioned the Tremere, and I know I'm going to probably get burnt at the stake for this, but I'm not a huge Tremere fan. I mean, I don't hate the Tremere. I don't really hate any clan in Vampire, but I just find that like the Tremere, I feel like thaumaturgy got out of hand really quick. Like in revised edition. I don't know what it's like in current edition, but I felt like thaumaturgy just kind of went nuts. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean, Mitch? Like with all the thousands of paths that they have. Thaumaturgy.
Oh yeah.
It just got too much. It just got way too fucking much.
I think having the option. I mean, personally, I'm a fan of thaumaturgy, and I enjoy the fact that there are a lot of options for it. But controlling it and restraining it really comes down to the storyteller and what they are and are not willing to allow in their game.
Oh, for sure, and for sure. I mean, like I was really happy. Not to digress too much, when you decide to play a Tremere and Dread and Twin Cities by Night by Dread, because I finally got to kind of get over my fear of thaumaturgy as a storyteller, and just kind of like play with it a little bit, even though we didn't play with it too much. But you know what I mean? Like just kind of like get to explore that side of the game.
Wait.
Yeah, yeah. But we'll have fun in the next arc, I'm sure. But
and of course, I don't have any thaumaturgy on the character sheet. Oh no, I think I have 1 dot now.
You got 1 dot now. Yeah, no spoilers, but yeah, you got 1 dot now. But I feel though that necromancy, and this really sounds gonna sound goofy, is a much more grounded, like I hate using the term magic, but much more grounded magical ability that vampire has, that the game has. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel like it's this fire hose of like different abilities and just going to shoot them at everyone. I feel like you said, I feel I feel it's just a great story layer. And I feel that it is not something that, I mean, people could say, oh, anything can get exploited in the game. Yeah, I guess, sure. But I think with necromancy, you don't have to worry about it like destroying your game, like the vibe of your game. And like you said before, as a storyteller, it's on a storyteller whether or not they want to use the different paths of thaumaturgy. But like, I know that like I want someone in my game to have necromancy. I want someone to have it so that I can like explore all this crazy shit that I want to, themes and stuff like that in the game, with like wraiths and all that, and with the Shadowlands and not going to use those terms in my game, but just that death is not the end kind of vibe to a story.
Oh yeah. Well, one of the nice things about wraiths and necromancy is that the shroud is always a limiting factor. So if someone does start to get a little kooky with it, you can always say, nope, shroud's too strong in the area. Or, there's so many other things in the underworld that could seriously screw up someone's day. Your wraith got eaten by a specter.
Oh, for sure. So well. Yeah. Like the Giovanni aren't masters at all of the Shadowlands. They're not like, I mean, of course they know what they're doing, but they had what was that called? The Divulge, was it, where they lost all those souls that they were saving up? And like they just kind of like they had where in the Shadowlands where that nuke went off and it kind of like had all these effects in different games.
Oh, the Maelstrom, the last one.
Yeah, and where the Giovanni lost all their souls and they had no idea that was coming, So even though there are powerful Giovannis, they're still not experts at all in the Shadowlands. And so like you can it's a mystery in its end. I as a like, unless we can kind of get into some tips here on like how storytellers or players can kind of use it, but I know as like a storyteller, I really just like to use it to show like there's something out there that's completely different. There's a lot of horror you can explore in vampire. There's the loss of humanity. There's the beast. There's the machinations of elders. There's not being in control of anything around you. There's losing everything that's close to you, this, that, and the third. But then there's just times where, oh, that's fucked. And like I said before, that scene that I had with Lenny and Dread, where he kind of saw all the ghosts of the children. He started piecing together that was ghosts of children, and he saw that, and then he had the emotional breakdown in the street when he ran off. I mean, this is a Nosferatu, who's seen some pretty fucking horrendous shit, and seeing that broke him down emotionally, and even doing that, I even used it in a different effect in Wars on Fire, where and you were in that game where the pack went to go confront that Pistonov, thinking they're just going to destroy him, and all of a sudden had that wraith attacking them, and they were like, and you could see how Coyote, Alex's character, was panicking because he felt like he couldn't stop this thing, and he was so used to just being able to, and maul whatever you wanted to, and there's this thing like just attacking his pack leader and his pack priestess, and he can't do anything about it. It was this feeling of helplessness, while it was going on. What about you? Do you have any tips on how people can use the Giovanni as like a storyteller or a player or anything to that extent?
Absolutely. I think they're a great way to balance things out in a game. So if you've got a very combat-focused pack, you could easily use the Giovanni as a mindfuck villain, thanks to Dominate, a weird occulty villain, thanks to the Wraiths. Conversely, if you have this academic pack, you could always throw in a Giovanni to balance it out by making them a thug, the muscle, what have you. There's a lot of opportunities there. Plus, just diving into, maybe a Giovanni needs their help. Something went wrong with a ritual, and now there's an angry Risen on the loose who is solely out to kill the Giovanni or fuck something else up. Kill all kindred.
Angry Risen, a.k.a. the Crow. They keep calling me. No.
Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, imagine the villains from the Crow as a Sabbat pack.
Oh, Jesus, right? Yeah, that's a good. I never thought Iggy Pop as the Sabat, man. Fucking A, that is so punk rock. You know, like one thing that that I try to do with Giovanni, and actually there's only been one scene where like an actual Giovanni has been in any of our games, or any of the things I've ran. That was that really quick short scene in Wars on Fire, where Rita Giovanni was in there and Dunstan was with her in Juarez. And Rita's name's been mentioned plenty of times in Twin Cities by Night. She just hasn't been seen, you know? And so what I have been doing in the game is I take the different families and have ghouls of these different families. So we have seen Dunstan, obviously. They saw the two Putneska brothers, which had a shout out in Slasher Flick. I don't know if you listened to that, but Slavic gave a shout out. But there were these two brothers who they weren't the mafioso types or whatever. They're just normal college type kids who were like doing small arms sales and having, you know, just like kind of like more like Jesse from Breaking Bad. And you can see I even had the Pisanob and Juarez, but you can see where these people are tools of some powerful elder or whomever may be sitting in the background. And nothing brings me more joy than the fact that the two most hated people in our and Twin Cities by Night Chronicle are ghouls, you know, Max and Roman, you know. But
Jesus, wait until we meet their masters.
That's why, yeah. You almost did, but you jumped off the building, you damn bastard. But anyways, I think that you can.
Warren's been through a lot. Come on.
Yeah, he has been. Warren's a tortured soul. I do feel bad.
Suicide is probably the best option for him.
Well, yeah, and we digress too much, but for people listening to Dread, look at what happened to Valentine. Valentine ended up going there, you know. So poor Valentine.
Yeah, true.
But my point being is like you can take these different elements of these stories. You don't have to just have a Giovanni who's just gonna be like, "Hey, yo, I'm a Giovanni. I'm here for ghosts." You know, no, you can you can have them be the subtle thing from the shadows that doesn't even show themselves because they have influence. That's what I'm trying to get my point. I was trying to get to there. They have influence in a lot of things. Politics. There's a opening or there's a line in the revised Giovanni book where they're talking about the Milliners, and the Milliners were talking about how happy they were because they have a hatred for the Kennedys and how happy they were that when JFK died, and supposedly one of them has like JFK's skull in a trophy case or something like that. They implied he might have been responsible for JFK's assassination. So it's like you see these different types of influence. They have banking and all this stuff because the reason why is because they're trying to build their empire, and there's more, which we're not getting into in-depth reasons why they're doing that. But for a nutshell, they're almost as powerful as the Camarilla in V20 and prior. But now in V5, and I don't know, Mitch, if you've been reading up too much on V5 on what they've been doing with the Giovanni or not, but they're coming out. They're pretty much from what it sounds like, the Giovanni were heavily damaged in one form or another. Do you know anything about that?
I've heard bits and pieces. It's my understanding that they're really going to go in depth in that with the next book, Cults of the Blood Gods, I think.
Yeah, Cults of the Blood Gods, which sounds so fucking metal. You know, it sounds like that they're trying to take like all the death clans and merge them together. And for anyone listening who's involved in that or who are fans, I'm not trying to downplay. I just am not too up on the know on what's going on with that. I'm kind of just waiting for the book to come out. I still haven't read V5. Nothing against V5. It's just been hella busy, and I didn't get my books till 7 months after everyone else, so it kind of prevented me from being able to read it. But my point being is, it sounds like they're fundamentally changing the clan in V5. So if everything I've listened to, if you're playing V5, I mean, you can still do it if you want to do it. But from what it sounds like, they're taking all these different, like, I think like the Harbingers of Skulls, which are the Cappadocians supposedly who came back. I don't know if that was ever officially explained.
And they're the Sabbat Cappadocians, more or less.
Yeah. And then you have the Samedi and all that stuff. They're kind of like, it sounds like they're just making a clan of death, which will be interesting. You know, I kind of like, to be honest with you, I went from kind of mildly not even really wanting to read V5 to like wanting to read that I was saying this last night on our Discord, that Cults of the Blood God, just because that's what it pulls me, you know. So I might have to read V5 for that to get to it. So all in all, Giovanni are a great fucking clan. Don't do them misjustice of treating them just like some Godfather shit, and really try to explore some awesome horrific stuff that you can explore with it. And it doesn't even have to be edgelord. That's the amazing thing about it. It can be very subtle horror that you can run with the Giovanni. Like ghosts are some scary shit. You can read some Haunting on Hill House. You could, by Shirley Jackson. You could read, like, watch Sixth Sense. Dude, there's so many different awesome material out there that you can use.
I mean, it could even be a political influence based game. You may never meet the Giovanni in person,
Yeah.
But their influence could seriously be screwing someone left and right.
I mean, think about that. That's what I've been doing in Twin Cities by Night, and it's just been Dunstan, really. You know what I mean? Like with banking and all that shit and all.
Is that a spoiler?
No spoiler. I haven't even thought that far. I'm just all in UE and mentioning games and other stuff. We're going to take our next break, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about what we have up on the horizon. So stay tuned. All right.
On the horizon.
On the horizon.
High Level Games, the industry's first choice in taking your games to the next level. We are a podcast blog and new media network at highlevelgames.ca. We have blog posts about all of your favorite games going up 5 days a week, and a podcasting network with actual plays and shows that discuss role-playing games, with more rolling out all the time. We are on iTunes, Twitch, and YouTube. Find out more information at highlevelgames.ca, a site that certainly isn't controlled by a shadowy board of directors of otherworldly origin. That's highlevelgames.ca.
Please, help. They're coming.
All right, everyone, and welcome back. So, what do we have on the horizon? Well, first things first, before we even talk about what we have on the horizon, there's a couple things I want to say. First of all, thank you to our Patreons. Thank you so much to our Patreons. Now, I am not begging anyone to sign up to be our Patreon, but I'm thanking those of you who have, because of you guys. Quinn not only has a full setup Blue Yeti, but now Mitch also has a full setup Blue Yeti, which is 4 people of our gang now have Blue Yeti mics out of the 10. So we're almost there, guys. We're getting there. Our goal is to get everyone set up to kind of just continually try to improve. That's how I view Twin Cities by Night. There's always something that can be improved. And so that's what we're going for now. So thank you again. If you would like to give to our Patreon, you can find us on Patreon at Twin Cities by Night. And so, yeah, and we don't have any kind of like anything behind a paywall or any of the jazz like that. We don't have any tier thing. If you want to give $1, you can give $1. If you want to give more, you can give more, whatever. Even if you don't give, as long as you're listening to us, we appreciate you doing that. And that means a lot. So thank you. On another note, tied to this thing that all of us podcasters do, if you could leave reviews for us on like iTunes or on our Facebook page or on anything that you can leave reviews. I know it's a pain in the ass, trust me, but reviews help. There's a lot of people who will not give a podcast a chance unless they see that people have liked it previously. And we are thankful for the people who've given us the ton of reviews that we have on iTunes. More would help, especially with our Facebook page. Now we're trying to make our Facebook page grow even more. We are also on Discord. Check out our Discord. Stop on by where all the players are there. I'm there. There's chats going on. There's even fucking there's even exotic erotica of Wars on Fire fanfic, which I never thought I would ever fucking hear about. Supposedly there's something in the works about like a charity thing being put together where if we like garner a certain amount of money for some charity, I'll read that shit, which I still don't know if I will do, because oh dude, Mitch, what the fuck, dude? there's porn with your character that was an old man, dude. Like, I don't get it.
Well, you know, it's the internet, Chris. It's the internet.
I'm fucking blushing even thinking about it, and that's why everyone's getting a fucking reaction, dude. Just how like
don't forget bronies are a thing.
Oh my, yeah. You know, not hate on bronies, but just saying, like, man, if you want 2 old fucking vampires fucking each other, I guess you're gonna have it in fiction form. So not to
we all have our fetishes.
Yeah, for sure, man. You do you, man. But
about those cold brew enemas.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So who am I to judge? But yeah, so what do we have coming up? So next weekend we have the Ultimate Evil 2 Institutionalized coming up, which I'm super fucking excited for. Like, listen, and I really am trying to be selective when I talk about my passion about like the stuff that we do, because I don't want to sound like a douchebag and I don't want to sound like a pretentious asshole. But like from like mid Juarez on Fire, from like the middle of Wars on Fire onto to like when we started Dread, I felt like, okay, like I'm getting comfortable at this. Like a little behind the scenes, I was my biggest self-doubter with Negligence, Homecoming, and Ultimate Evil Remembrance, and the beginning of Wars. And then in the middle of Wars, I was like, fuck, dude, we got something here going. And then like at the middle of Dread, I was just like, my confidence started growing, dude. And I'm very confident as a storyteller now. I'm not saying I'm good. I'm not saying whatever. I'm just saying that like now the confidence that I feel motivates me more to even like try to better what I'm doing as a storyteller. That led me to do Ghoul's Fatal Addiction Servitude, and now with Ultimate Evil, and I've really am digging the story of, because I feel like for those of you who don't know, the Ultimate Evil for me personally is a huge homage to like the town that my parents came from, and a town I lived in for about 4 years as a child. And so there's a lot of like memories there, and a lot of like people I'm giving homage to who inspired NPCs there, and a lot of also like stuff in the horror genre that I feel like I can get creative with real things that take place in that city. So I'm really excited about that. You're going to be there. You weren't there last time. You're going to be back there playing Alex. I'm really excited to like touch upon Alex again with that too, man.
Whew, yeah, Alex. The poor kid.
Well, yeah, I mean, for those of you who have not listened to Ultimate Evil, you can go back and listen to Remembrance, which was the first story arc, or you can actually, if you don't want to go back and listen to that, you can listen to the prelude where Mitch here recorded a journal of Alex and him recapping what had happened. And that journal entry was super sad for me. Like I listened to that, I'm like, God damn, dude, that music that I was able to find for it, I had a different music that was all upbeat, and I was like, man, and then I randomly found that song, and it's just like, whoo. And those couple of those lines you gave, man, were kind of like, shit, like we're pretty powerful there. So I'm excited to touch upon that. We really hit our groove that last session. So good stuff.
I had a lot of fun putting that together.
Dude, that was fun, man. It was really free for me. For people who don't know, that wasn't really scripted, that prelude. Prelude was pretty much me and Tillman sitting here with Mitch. And we're like, all right, so let's talk about what happened in the game. And we're like, okay, yeah, this was like the first scene where this happened. And Mitch would be like, okay. And then he would think for a couple of seconds, and he would just shoot it out. You know what I mean? And then we're like, all right, cool. All right, this happened next. And then he would sit there for a couple of seconds. All right. And then he would just shoot it out, you know? So it wasn't really scripted. It was just us saying, this is what happened in the game, put it into your own words. And that's kind of how that happened there. And that was pretty cool. And I would like to try that in different games that I run again. So if you haven't listened,
diary.
Yeah, for real, man. So I'm excited that's going to be next Sunday. So I'm really excited to get back to that. And then after that, we are going to try to do Chronicles of Darkness, Inferno, Temptation. For those of you who don't know, is a game we started a while ago, but due to just conflicting schedules, we haven't been able to do it. But we might be able to do it then next. That is a game where it takes place in the 15th century Hussite Wars. I actually played in that game with Craig and Tillman and Quinn, and it's an interesting concept where Slavic basically kind of took the premise of Wraith, where you have a Wraith and a Shadow, but instead he took the premise of where you have two mortals and then you have two demons who possess them. And I played one of the mortals. I played Brother Jan, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, kudos. Like here's the thing that I never thought I would be saying. Like 3 years ago when we started this, I never thought I'd be like fucking Quinn and Slavic are killing it as storytellers. You know, they're brand new to role playing, bro. They were brand new, and now they're running games, and these one shots are just fucking amazing. So it's really awesome to say that like Slavic is just this really great storyteller. Like Tillman said it best to me in private. He said that first session of Temptation felt like early Game of Thrones, where it was like serious and gritty and just all this shit. And you know, again, we're not trying to compare ourselves, but just the vibe and all that shit, you know, it was really, really fucking cool. And then after that, we are trying to piece together Demon the Fallen Fragments, which you guys just wrapped up a session last week, which is getting released as we are recording this. And
we did.
Yeah. How are you feeling about that? You liking it? You're getting back into it's been a while since we ran it.
Dude, I felt so freaking rusty starting that session up. Yeah. It wasn't until we got towards the end where I really found my stride again. Hopefully, if we can do the, get back into a monthly with it, I'll be much better off.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's just the part of doing this. I mean, dude, we have 319 episodes that are almost out, and you divide that by 3, over 100 sessions we've had of different games that we've ran for our stuff. We're running games every weekend almost, so it's something that there's no shame in that. There's no shame in having, because what people don't realize is the reason why there were so many episodes of Demon that happened was because we had to pause Hunters Hunted 2 because someone in the group had to travel for work. And so we're like, oh, well, let's start this Demon game up. So we ran Demon, and then that person came back, and then we wrapped up Hunters Hunted 2. Now that Hunters Hunted 2 is done, boom, we're back to demon. And that's an inside peek into how we do shit. Twin Cities by Night. If anyone's ever wondering, it's a lot of like, oh shit, we got to fill this hole. We got to fill this hole. We're usually like scrambling a lot to do it. So there's some other things coming down the pipeline too. There's probably gonna be more one shots. I know Craig has been talking about doing some Delta Green, more Call of Cthulhu one shots. If you haven't listened to any of our Call of Cthulhu one shots, you can listen to Cold Harvest, My Little Sister Will Make You Suffer, or the new one that just came out, The Derelict, which was fucking amazeballs. Derelict was so fucking good, dude. Like I listened to that and I was like, oh, this is fucking good. And then we just released a new slasher flick one shot recently. If you haven't listened to that, slasher flick is an awesome, funny game where each player plays 3 different characters. Quinn has been crushing it with that. And I want to get there's 2 one shots that I'm trying to plan out. One is that Sabat one that takes place in 1987. And then I forgot what I called that one. I had a name for that, but I can't remember the name for it. And then another one that I'm thinking about, a little peek behind the curtain for you Twin Cities by Night Dread listeners, but I'm thinking about playing running a one shot for Wraith and having it where the players play renegade wraiths who are stuck following the NPC Donald around because they were victims of his before Valentine got him. For those who don't know, Donald's that serial killer that Valentine caught and kind of made a ghoul. And they'll be playing wraiths that are tied to this guy and go wherever he goes or follow him or in that general area. So there's always stuff being worked on. And then we got the Brian Diaries coming up. So that's that, man. And do you got anything to add, Mr. Mitch, the man of many voices?
It sounds like you got everything planned out. Nice. Dude, and neat.
We try, nice and neat shit. It's all Google calendars and moving shit around, man, and fucking hoping for the best and everyone being dynamic. I mean, another peek behind the curtain. For those of you who don't know, man, these one shots now, like we get them out smooth now. Like someone will have one they want to run. Becca, the queen of fucking thumbnails, will come up with a thumbnail. We'll record a fucking intro, boom, run the game, edit it, push it out there. So it's kind of crazy how much our output now is a lot different. So it's kind of cool. So on that note, if you guys wish to contact us, you can find us on Twitter at twin_cities_VTM. I don't know why I still have that VTM underneath there when we play so much more now. But you can find us on Twitter if you want to. If you want to ask us questions, hit me up on there. Hit me up on Discord. We are on Instagram. We're trying to we decided to focus on our Facebook, try to get our Facebook banging. So you can hit us up and follow us on Facebook there too. Other than that, Mitch, do you got that syringe of Coke with you?
The cocaine coffee?
No, well, the syringe of Coke. Do you got that with you?
Probably.
Do you got that cold brew? You ready to mix it up?
Oh, hell yeah.
You ready to do this? Should we stop record?
Probably.
Should we take it to some dark sides? All right, we're going to go now, guys. So we'll talk to you later.
All evidence.
It's all evidence. Bye-bye.
The Los Angeles metropolitan area is constantly growing and changing. The Central District is full of new buildings. The Hollywood and Wilshire districts, once far from downtown, now are part of which spreads past Beverly Hills and out to the ocean. But why is all this going on in Los Angeles? Why is Los Angeles an exploding city?
Neon Masquerade.
The Demon's Mirror.
13 Candles.
3 Chronicles running through the undead veins of the City of Angels.
The Esoteric Order of Role Players Actual Play podcast invites you to drink deeply.
Go to eorpodcast.com and search the duets tag to find out more.